For thousands of students at the University of Southern California, the journey to higher education means more than just an academic achievement. It's a pioneering step for their hard-working families. At USC, approximately 22% of undergraduates are the first in their families to attend college.
My name is Akamresh. I'm currently a junior and my major is electrical engineering.
So my name is Anush Patel. I'm a junior and I'm studying computer science right now.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I'm a junior and my major is computer science.
These first-generation students face unique challenges compared to their more privileged peers. Navigating financial pressures, cultural differences, and a system their families have never experienced.
Yeah, sure. So my biggest culture shock was how easy people were willing to spend money. For example, a lot of my first year freshman suite mates and a lot of my friends are willing to spend money on things like DoorDash, on random school nights, which I thought was pretty shocking since they had food in the fridge, leftovers, and groceries, but they still choose to exchange some money for a little bit of their time.
Like for example, like for my group projects, where like me and my peers were talking, and when they mentioned like all these like fancy vacations they get to go on growing up, like going to Hawaii or going to like Barcelona and whatnot. Well, I didn't get to do that growing up because my family couldn't really afford it, and like some of them didn't really understand like how like some people didn't just like have like the money to do all this. Like they all come ask like, oh, so where did you go for like spring break? Where did you go for this? And I had to kind of explain to them like how I could not like go on these trips like they did because I didn't come from the same background that they did.
While many students focus solely on academics and campus life, first-gen Trojans often carry additional responsibilities their classmates can't relate to, creating a sense of isolation amid USC's privileged environment. The transition to college can be particularly complex for first-generation students. According to recent national studies, they have up to 20% lower persistence rates in their first year compared to their peers. And nationwide, only about 25% complete their bachelor's degree in 4 years, compared to 70% of students whose parents attended college. This gap is often rooted in financial necessity. Recent research shows that 79% of first-generation students work while attending college, with 27% working full-time. That is nearly twice the rate of continuing generation students. Balancing jobs with academics creates additional strain, contributing to mental health challenges, with first-generation students reporting 33% higher rates of depression and anxiety than their peers.
Yeah, so kind of as like a first generation student and not coming from like a lot of money, especially in a school like USC where most of these like a lot of kids here do come from a lot of money, kind of give me a unique perspective. Kind of made me really humble to like understand like obviously being able to go to school like this and having it big as a quest for trying to get all like paid for is also like kind of really a huge like impact on me.
I think sometimes I have faced imposter syndrome for sure, just because like there's so many smart people here, there's so many intelligent people, so many people from different backgrounds that aren't from the same background as me, and that can make things a little bit hard to get adjusted to. But overall, like generally I feel really good. I feel like I built a place here that I really like.
Yet despite these challenges, first-generation Trojans are finding ways to thrive. The first-generation journey often creates complex dynamics with family back home.
So like, whenever I talk to my family, obviously they're very proud that I got into USC. I go here and like doing well in school, but they don't really understand that there's so much like more than just getting good grades. Like I have to like find internships, like network with people, like talk to alumni. There's so many parts of like the outside part of outside just the grades that they don't really understand. It's kind of hard to explain to them, especially coming from a different country. The education system that they grew up in is so much like different. They don't really understand that like there's so much more than just getting good grades. That there's so much like more I have to do, and they don't always understand that. They're always like, "Why are you so busy?" I tell them like there's like more than just like going to class, like doing the homework. I have to do so much more outside of that. They don't really fully always get.
I think one thing that my parents aren't super aligned upon is that my parents measure success differently. They grew up in China, which is super heavily dependent on like grades and test scores. So when I tell them that I'm working on unpaid research and student organizations, they think that it's kind of a distraction because they think that if something doesn't directly lead to a job, then it's not that important. But I had to explain to them that it's for like learning purposes and it's good for long-term career growth.
My dad kind of worked in construction, and my mom didn't work. She kind of focused on like raising me and my siblings. And so like yeah, it's like I didn't really see my dad. He would like come work earlier or in the morning and come back really late, so I didn't get to spend that much time with my dad. But my mom was really always there to like take care of my siblings.
This navigation between two worlds, their family background and their new academic environment, requires resilience and adaptability. Finding community becomes essential for first-generation students to overcome feelings of isolation.
So kind of like the first ways like I found a community at USC was I rushed a fraternity, and like that fraternity kind of like met a lot of people and that like really understood like my background and where I came from. Like also like it offered I didn't pay any dues because like they offered a lot of scholarships to help people that were in my position that could not pay like the enormous dues that all these fraternities charge.
These connections provide both practical support and emotional belonging. USC has developed targeted resources to support first-generation student success.
I think the student organizations for first generation students are definitely really helpful and help you like with that initial transition in. And I think overall USC just provides a lot of resources for new students and for students to find jobs and internships, to get extra tutoring for classes, and I think the community is really there.
Yeah, so one resource that I found super useful was the First Generation Plus Success Center, where I was able to meet my mentor, who I super like, and he was able to direct me to career opportunities and other opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise applied to, and he was actually the person who referred me to the internship that I did last summer.
These initiatives are making a difference. USC's first-generation students now graduate at a rate of 92%, which pretty much matches the university-wide rate of 93%, defying national trends. As these students graduate, they offer wisdom for the next generation.
It would definitely be just to be yourself and find your own community, because even if you might originally feel like you're an imposter here, or people aren't necessarily treating you the same for particular reasons, you'll definitely find a community here and you will eventually kind of grow as a person into that.
I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. No one is born knowing how college works.